welcome back to another video, and today I'll be giving you 5 tips on how to win more games, because I know you have those days where it feels like there's nothing going for you and you can never just get that one win to sign off on a good note with your squad. But don't worry, I'm here to partially help you, because my advice can only go such a long way. The first tip is loadout. I would normally say that you should spend more time fighting and looking for your perfect loadout, but you aren't trying to drop a 20 bomb, you are trying to win the game. A good close range gun mixed with a long range to medium range gun is always a good loadout to have for the entire game. But running 2 close range weapons for the beginning to the midway point of the game is also good. But when it comes to zone 2 or 3, it's most likely going to be a long range poke battle. So switching that R99 for R301 while pairing it with that PK or Mastiff that you had before might be the best bet for winning more end games, because as I said before, it's going to be a long range poke battle most of the match at that point in the game. And having an SMG and trying to go up against longbows, triple takes and flatlines isn't the best thing for you nor your squad. So choosing the right loadout for the different stages of a game will help you to win more games. The second tip is fighting, or more specifically, knowing when to fight and when not to fight. Taking gunfights in Apex is always going to be a 70% chance that you are going to get third party. Olympus is definitely 90%, because those shots echo from Bonza to Ham and Lobs. The key thing in this tip is knowing when and where to take fights. You can't be taking fights in the triangle of death on Olympus and not expect to get third in. Or better yet, have a long range poke battle there in zone 1 or 2 and not making the decision to rotate through turbines or estate. Getting third in on Olympus is as sure as finding a PK and a wingman in a sweaty race death box. It's just inevitable. So knowing when and where to take fights is key to winning more games. I'm not saying that you should be scared to take fights or don't take fights, because if a team is mindlessly aping you, unless you have a quick escape route, you have no option but to take that fight. Or you can take a fight in which you are sure you can end in roughly 20 seconds and rotate out before the third party comes in. There's a lot of different variants to this, and I can't list all of them because RNG plays a factor in this as well. But taking the right fights don't always mean a 3v3. Sometimes it's also the right third party to get some KP off an already weakened team. The third tip is landing, specifically where you choose to land in game. The problem with most players is that they want to land hot or in a heavily contested area and expect to come out on top, clearing out the teams that go there and go on to win the game. While that may be the case sometimes, that isn't the case all the time. Landing hot won't lead to winning games all the time. Remember, I'm giving you tips on how to win more games, not to get a 20 bomb or a 4K badge. Landing safe and at the edge of the map with 1 or 2 teams to fight early game and get some KP and place for placement until the final zone will lead to you winning more games, or at least ranking up a whole lot faster. But in reality, this won't always work, because there are many different variables in play in a match of Apex, and you can control every single one of them that goes on in the game. But you can minimize the amount of risk you need to take in a match by picking a safe spot to land, eliminating some of the other variables that are in the game to some extent. Just by landing at a safe spot, you will find yourself winning a lot more games and coming out on top too. You should also be on the lookout for where other teams land as well, so that you can figure out where and where not to rotate when leaving your area. Speaking of rotations, the fourth tip is exactly that. I've been preaching about good rotations since I had 100 subs on this channel. A good rotation towards zone is key to winning game. You might say I mean Horizon and Falk. Falk literally allows you to rotate to any point on the map. Yes, you are right, but before Valk was released, I main and still main Horizon and Wraith. The only place Horizon is rotating towards is height, and Wraith is Wraith. So with that being said, I know a thing or two about good rotations. There are a lot of legends who can help you on a rotate and also hinder you while rotating. Non-movement legends are always a hindrance on a rotation because they have no escapability in their kit to get them out of a tough situation, or to be more specific, to get them out of being gatekept when zone 2 is closing and that level 3 zone will send you back to this lobby. But this is just a normal thing in Apex, but you can't always rely on Falk's ultimate to fly away when you get in a bad spot, which is why knowing different places to rotate towards Endzone is key. You might be rotating through Ham and Lobs and you know that there was a team fighting there because you heard the shots. The zone is coming in, there you go, you see no one at Ham and Lobs. The zone is going towards fight night / boxing ring, and you decide to go through third by. You run into the team that was fighting and they gatekeep you. The level 3 zone is coming in, but you're already too far away to rotate towards estate to use the bridge to get to the boxing ring. Or what you could have done was rotate towards energy depot or the rift, to either rotate towards power grid and enter to the side of the boxing ring near the docks. or rotate through the backside of turbine and force a fight with the team that's there. As you can see, just by rotating through energy depot, you give yourself two options for a rotate instead of getting gatekeep, instead of rotating directly through turbine. This is just one instance of a good rotation, but as I've said before, there are many different variables, but knowing the map really helps with these rotations and will lead to you being in a top 5 placement in a match. The fifth and final tip is Endzone. Setting them for that final fight can be tricky. To get the max RP, everything has to go right, but it doesn't always. Sometimes holding height will lead to you being in a game winning spot or a game losing spot, because you might have to jump down and go to where the enemy team is, because that's where the final zone will be closing. Or the zone might be ending on your height, and it's just a battle of who have the most heals, or who is going to sacrifice themselves to get the win for the team by going in and doing some damage to the enemy to get your team the win. Endzone is all about patience. You don't want to be the first team to start fighting, so you have to be patient and let things flow naturally, because one team is bound to grieve someone and you don't want that to be you. This has been Playboy Sasuke. Until next video, have a great day.